This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything we're talking about here today. We have a lot of news to go over, so let's get into this. We start with the numbers this morning. The numbers are brought to you by Ledger Nano. Guys, there's a 20% sale going on cold storage Ledger Nanos right now. Make sure you click the link in the description or the comments below, and there's plenty of other links should you need something in there to help you out, like a VPN for your security layer or anything like that. So make sure you check those out as well. Let's go ahead and do these numbers. They're pretty disappointing, so let's just get them out of the way. $10,208.94 for Bitcoin. I wish I had about 1,000 of them. Ethereum, $347.42, and XRP is 24 cents right now. Let's drill down on the numbers on XRP. 0.2401 right now for XRP. 24-hour volume is 1.8 billion. Total market cap is 10.8 billion. We are up 2.3% on the 24-hour, and the total circulating supply is 45 billion, 11 million plus. Those are your numbers. Okay, so let's get into this thing because tick tock, there goes the clock. We got a lot of news happening, and I think it's going to prove to everyone, even as disappointing as the numbers are, there is massive adoption and partnerships, mergers, acquisitions, and even legislative advancement happening around the world. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. And it's going to be pretty compelling, the stuff that I show you at the end. So stick with us here. So first we start off with Digitex Futures is launching XRP and gold futures markets this month. XRP spot markets will launch in the fourth quarter with zero fees. Shout out to Digitex for offering that. Now, I don't know if those are perpetual contracts or if those actually have a term. So whether they're 1 month or 3 months, 6 months, we don't know. But I do know because Binance currently right now is running futures for XRP, but they're perpetual, right? They have no term limit to the contract. I think it's hard to get price discovery if you don't have a term limit on a futures contract. So we shall see how the market develops. So let's keep going here. Shout out to Barry Silbert. Big news from DCG today. He will be on Squawk CNBC at 6:45 a.m. It's already happened this morning. Talking more about the acquisition and our plans to bring Luno to every corner of the world. Barry Silbert doesn't let any grass grow underneath his feet. I mean, this guy is on the move, tied to so many things, Ripple, Coinbase included, and everything else that he's done. So keep an eye on what that is, because you know if Barry's excited about it, I'm probably going to be too. Here we go here. Michael Val, 5 links right here. Crypto lending platform Cred has joined Visa's FinTech Fast Track program to speed up payments and borrowing, Cred said Tuesday. Cred has joined the Visa FinTech Fast Track program, allowing it to send interest payments directly to customers and speed up other services. This is the kind of stuff I really personally like to see. It might seem boring to other people because they'd rather watch a bull run happen and look at price. And believe me, I would enjoy that too. But the reality is, that's where we're at. So, and I thought I had, XRP Crypto Wolf. Shout out to all the regular influencers in this space, like Michael Val, 5 links, and XRP Crypto Wolf, DJ Peter Bass, and so many others. You all are greatly appreciated. Ukraine, Russia, and Venezuela are leading the world in crypto adoption, according to Chainalysis. Look, guys, I ladies and gentlemen, I have covered Chainalysis quite heavily on this channel and what the importance is of Chainalysis. They scan transactions for exchanges and agencies alike. They were headed by the U.S. Treasury. Michael Moiser, he went back to the U.S. Treasury after getting Chainalysis where it needed to be, basically. And Chainalysis obviously is carrying the data and metrics as well as scanning a lot of things. If you look at this document or article, it goes through here and talks about the numbers between the countries, who's first, who's last, that kind of a thing, the top 10 countries in crypto adoption. How would they know that unless they were able to follow the money? That's right. That's how you know the market's got a thumb on it. That's how you know the market's got more going on behind the curtain than you could ever imagine. They're not going to let this space grow up into the trillions upon trillions size of a market without anyone being able to monitor what's going on. A quick little reminder here is that from October of 2019, Ethan Beard reminded everybody here that furthermore, Chainalysis has added the XRP ledger to its blockchain analytics product. Come on in. This is why I tell people so many times on this channel, the reason I primarily follow XRP along with the crypto space is because XRP is not just another digital asset or another digital currency in the space. It is going to be a digital currency, I believe, that is a part of the framework of the entire digital asset space. Okay, let's keep going here. So, moving to news about Flare Network, shout out to Hugo, CEO from Flare, said that FXRP system allows for decentralized or trustless issuance of XRP on Flare. So what that means is that you have XRP on Flare networks, and that then allows you to use XRP with smart contracts. This, to me, as I've said before, is a clear and away sign that we are seeing that federated system be developed between all the different protocols that matter so they can begin to act as one single unit. And this, I believe, is the beginning of the real maturation process of a huge step forward to the next chapter of bringing the Internet of Value together as a federated unit. And that is exciting to me to see that. Furthermore, they went on to say that the Flare crypto startup also outlined a plan to bring smart contracts to XRP, as we just discussed, and says Bitcoin and Litecoin may be next. Now you see the all-inclusiveness of the interoperability and the ability to cross over these networks and to get the best out of all these networks to act as one single unit. Again, bringing the space together. This, to me, I've said this before, just because I've even suggested that because, you know, Bitcoin has high transaction fees, so does Ethereum, which is a large part of the push, I believe, in this that we're talking about here with Flare, but also with the high transaction fees of Bitcoin and the length of settlement time. I've often suggested that all pre-mined Bitcoin be placed on the XRP ledger so it can get a consistent near instant settlement time by being placed on the ledger. And they could even do cap gains on the miners for the pre-mined Bitcoin. And then once it's placed on the ledger, there you go. Chainalysis can follow it. The SEC's got a node on the ledger. Those things look a lot more to me like a legitimate framework for the Internet of Value and a new financial system. So we'll see what goes on. The libertarian in me is screaming to get out and says, don't say any of those things. But the reality is I know that institutional money and massive money around the world and the banking system isn't going to play in this sandbox with us until things like that really start to take shape. So I think I'd rather have the money. So that's where I'm at. The International Chamber of Commerce announced the operational launch of its Digital Standards Initiative. The Digital Standards Initiative aims to create standards for data, interoperability, blockchain, and legal frameworks for trade. I'm pretty sure I just described to you what the International Chamber of Commerce has announced. I just gave my personal view, and now it looks like the International Chamber of Commerce is working on the same exact view. I think, if nothing else, I don't say this to try to be right. What I bring this up because you want to make sure that however you're seeing the market, that I would think, and I certainly want it to be this way, I want to see my personal views and opinions begin to align with the coalitions and the chambers of commerce and the institutions and how they're being affected or how they see that they could participate in this market. And so far, I think we keep seeing evidence of that, and that makes me feel good about where I've put my very, very real money. So let's keep going. Ripple partner ACI Worldwide and Currency Cloud closed new big deals for payments for cross-border and adoption. Now, we covered this already, but I wanted to tuck it into what we're covering here today because it's very relevant, and some people may have missed it in the previous video. But AC Worldwide and Currency Cloud obviously partners with Ripple, and Currency Cloud tied in for helping to settle digital payments for Visa, I believe it is, if my memory serves me correctly. So huge connections between the traditional market and the traditional players of the world and the new digital side that we are in and invested in. And that, to me, again, is another huge step forward. That's right. While all of this is 24 cents, I say to you, tick tock goes the clock. The price can be whatever it wants to be right now, because the reality is, for me as an investor, and it's not financial advice, I try to take advantage of the low prices to continue to build out my portfolio. Because when I can, and why can I do that confidently? Well, because I look at the evidence, look at the news that's rolling out. Do I see ACI or Currency Cloud or Visa saying that they're not going to work with them now? Scratch that. We're going back the other way. No. In fact, they continue to deepen their relationship and to build out the necessary platforms and make the acquisitions, mergers, and partnerships to continue to get in this space and more anchored to be able to handle where we're going. So it's very exciting to me. So Bank of England payment innovations gaining momentum here. Now, look, this is going along of a string of news that we're about to look at. So from one side of the world to the other, to take a look at what we're looking at here. So their payments innovation is gaining momentum. Absolutely it is, and we're seeing that. And what else is happening? Well, what else is happening is Ripple XRP, an importance of regulatory clarity and uniformness in multi-country transaction. And then it talks here about how the Financial Conduct Authority, the UK FCA, which has been really a leader in breaking down what they see when it comes to crypto. And they've done that by breaking crypto down into three different areas, or categories, I should say, which would be either an exchange token, utility token, or a security token. And that's how they break it down. They keep it pretty broad, but it is still clearly defined. And I think the thing to take away from this is Ripple feels that the FCA have played a role as a role model in providing some guidelines for digital asset regulation. That has been backed up by Michelle Bond in former Ripple Drop videos, where she said that they're kind of looking to the FCA for that leadership role and where they're going, and they really like the role that they have taken. So this, I believe, is where, they take the U.S. is in the U.S. can take I guess they could take the information from the UK FCA and kind of say, you know what, they've taken the lead here. We can take from that position and build out here, respectively, in the U.S. And we see that rapid pace of bill could mean that this may be the first bill from the House of Representatives votes on this, that specifically looks to ensure the U.S. is competitive on blockchain technology against China. So when you look at that, you start saying to yourself, okay, the FCA and UK has been very clear about where they're going. U.S. may follow that lead, right? And use that lead to build out something here that doesn't stifle innovation. I would rather see some loose regulatory sandbox allowing us to get going, and the public-private relationship between government and private companies like Ripple to be able to jump ahead and leapfrog to the front of the pack and very quickly take the lead spot in innovation in this space. So we'll keep an eye on that. Remember, we covered this heavily yesterday today too. But I think this is a reminder to really put it in the narrative of what other news is happening today about Ripple hiring a Bank Secrecy Act investigations analyst. They've already had a BSA compliance team for a very long time, but they're adding to that team. So this position will file reports with FinCEN or other law enforcement agencies per internal procedures and be heavily focused on investigations and monitoring the XRP ledger. Again, I will remind you that Ethan Beard reminded us in October of 2019 that Chainalysis is adding the XRP ledger to its blockchain analytics product. So then you see they continue to build out the Bank Secrecy Act compliance team, which is going to be reporting to FinCEN. Now, I'm going to play you a great video clip here, just a few seconds, and this is from none other than Mickey B. Fresh. And guys, I want to tell you right now, we are going to do a show Thursday with Mickey B. Fresh, and it is going to be fire. Bam, boom, bam. Bam, boom, bam. Look out for that video on Thursday. I'm telling you, it's going to be straight fire. I'm going to play for you right now that Ripple has been monitoring and running surveillance on the XRP ledger since 2015 as a part of the agreement with FinCEN when they got fined in 2015. Chief Compliance Officer at PolySign speaking during a presentation at the IMF 2 years ago. Listen to this.
Ripple Labs, as an example I brought up earlier, in 2015 Ripple was subject to an enforcement action from FinCEN and the Department of Justice for anti-money laundering violations that were conducted back in 2013. One of the stipulations under that settlement agreement was that Ripple Labs, a company, conduct transaction monitoring and reporting of transactions that are conducted on XRP Ledger, a blockchain. Now, Ripple Labs does not own or operate XRP Ledger, and Ripple Labs does not have anything to do with any of the other entities that connect to that blockchain, with the exception of Ripple subsidiary entities. Ripple does have a financial institution subsidiary, a company that sells cryptocurrency to wholesale buyers. But apart from that, it does not know any of the other entities on this blockchain, nor does it have anything whatsoever to do with it. So,
and there you have it. And that's how long Ripple has been in compliance with the government and all the proper regulatory agencies around the world. Remember, Thomas Jefferson said, a revolution comes from within, not without. Ripple has understood this from day one. That's why they took a different approach. Instead of taking the approach that Bitcoin has taken, where they wanted to replace fiat money and be anti-government. The reality is, and hey, the libertarian in me says that's amazing. Wave the flag. I love it. But the reality is, if you're going to get regulators, governments, and financial institutions to participate in something, you're going to need to make it all-inclusive. And the way to do that is to work with them inside the system. Now, with that being said, we are going to look at another clip, and this clip is from domestically here in the United States. Now, what is all of this monitoring about? It's about payments. It's about cross-border settlement. And the truth is that is quite a broad brush when we talk about cross-border settlement, right? So cross-border settlement could certainly be a family member sending money back home to a family member. Generally speaking, I think most people, when they hear cross-border remittance or cross-border payments, that's probably one of the first things you think of, is that's, very cool. Families can now send money back home and not get drilled for these crazy exorbitant fees. But the reality is cross-border payments is much bigger than that. Derivatives market can be settled with cross-border payments because there's people participating in the markets from all over the world. Cross-border payments can be payments from central banks and the entire financial industry. Cross-border payments can be small and medium enterprises. This is more the market that they're after, that Ripple is after, and they're going to get it because the relationships continue to build out, and the relationships and partners and customers and clients that they have, they don't leave. even when it's 24 cents. So the next clip we're going to look at here is a clip from the current president. Shout out to Mr. BXRP on this one. He caught this clip live. He mentioned something about remittance. Now, this may or may not have something to do with crypto or XRP, even though we know that the U.S.-Mexican corridor has been a very big corridor for the MoneyGram Ripple partnership and the use of XRP. In my mind, when I hear this clip, I think, okay, this could be positive for us as investors if they end up using and switching to XRP for settlement and getting that cost-effective savings and then adding back in potentially a small tax that's going across the border. So then you're actually saving money on the remittance fee, but then still adding back in a tax because of what he's looking to achieve here. After this clip, I'm going to take you directly to another clip from the United Nations that kind of leans into the notion about what the president is saying here. So let's listen to this clip very quickly.
And you know, Mexico is paying for the wall, just so you understand. They don't say that. They never say it. But we're going to charge a small fee at the border. You know, the toll booths. We have toll booths. It's the biggest border in the world in terms of people going across and in terms of industry. Believe it or not, the southern border. We're putting a small toll on, and maybe we're going to do something with remittance. That's where people come here, make money, and they send it back. So we'll do something, and we're going to get all the money that we spent on the wall will be coming back. So remember, I used to say, who's going to pay for it? They'd say Mexico.
Okay, so the point is here is he's talking about remittance. Does it pertain to what we've seen with MoneyGram, the U.S. Mexican pesos, and the ODL use in the settlement of XRP? We don't know. But I'll tell you this. When I go down here a little further, there is a post here in the comment section that Neil Duncan shared, and let's listen to this right here. And it was also originally from Status. So let's take a look at this. Here we go.
We need to take it to the next level to ensure support reaches those entirely dependent on the informal economy and countries less able to respond. Remittances are a lifeline in the developing world, especially now. Countries have already committed to reduce remittance fees to 3%, much below the current average levels. The crisis requires us to go further, getting as close to zero as possible. We need to take it.
Listen, I don't know about you, but when I heard the president say it originally, I think, you know, it may or may not be relevant to our investment. But when you hear the guy from the UN say it, and it's like, well, now that's two. And one is the UN and one is the US. And then you start saying to yourself, more importantly, even though they don't mention Ripple or XRP, they're talking about the same narrative, is remittances. So the reality is it's something to watch. It's something to pay attention to. Because what is it that Ripple's trying to do? As Naveen Gupta said, it's make a dent in the universe or just go away. And I don't know about you, but I think that Ripple XRP is about to make more than just a dent in the universe. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, share with somebody you know, and make sure if you are not on it, the newsletter will be coming out between the 15th and the 20th this month. Make sure you get on the newsletter. It's in the link in the description and the comment section. Make sure you join the rich list. I will be giving you a lot of exclusive stuff in that newsletter each and every month, so make sure you get on that newsletter as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I will catch all of you on the next one.